You're listening to In Sumter with Sarah Jane, a show about celebrating Sumter, a part of the Item Podcast Network, presented by SKF. All right, cool.
No matter how much I want to try and make them independent, you know?
Yeah, they'll get there eventually. Okay, so we're good to go.
Okay.
It's time. So, hey, thanks for joining us. I'm Sarah Jane, and this is Seth Reimer. Did I say your last name right?
Yeah, you did.
Dang, good. I always get so nervous when I say anybody's name. Like, I could introduce my sister and be like, Katie. So Seth Reimer, and you run the Opera House here.
Yeah, that's what I do.
What's your official title?
My professional title is cultural manager.
Cultural manager.
For the city of Sumter.
What does that mean to you?
I get to book shows at the Opera House.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Which dives us right in. I, put it out on Instagram. If anybody has questions for my guests, let me know. And somebody wants to know, how do you choose the lineup? How do you pick?
I have a blow dart, and I just put a stick. I'm just kidding. I really use darts. Is really how I do it.
It's no blow darts. That seems excessive. Just real darts. You just have some beer.
There is a very extensive Excel formula and some criteria that we always put in for each year just to try to maintain diversity, show a little bit, the things that I know are going to sell.
There's a spreadsheet involved?
Oh, my gosh. There's a spreadsheet involved in everything I do. I may have not made the spreadsheet, but I am very much... I like to have as much data as possible to make any decision that I can. I
think you and I are a little bit similar.
Really?
Yeah, I love to have a spreadsheet, and I love when everything starts doing and the number, the here goes on the other page.
Like if you have a day off and you don't have anything planned, and you've already had one of those days where you just kind of did nothing, does that make you anxious?
So anxious. I move into some sort of depression. Like, people literally have, my sister calls and checks on me. She's like, are you enjoying your day? Or are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm not. Yeah. I'm going to call for some for sale by owners. Because I got to do something. I can't.
It's funny because I get that way if I know that the day needs to be productive. I feel like I can look back at the day and say, okay, even though I relaxed, I was still productive. I'm not an idle person.
Sometimes you want to feel like you're getting stuff done.
Yeah.
So, I bet the tiny amount of planning that I have done for, I tried to help, tried being the keyword, Heather with the Inspire Festival this last year. Out of my wheelhouse. I'm a give me a checklist girl. If I'm not in total control, tell me specifically what to do, and I'll do it. But you plan basically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you really only have, speaking Opera House, if you have maybe 12 to 16 dates a year that we would present a concert, and obviously I would love to do 2 or 3 times that many.
Right.
But knowing that we have 12 to, at the most, one time, I think it was 2018-19, we did 20 concerts.
Wow.
That are presented by the Sumter Opera House. But we're averaging about 110 event days a year out of 365, and most of those take place on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you have to plan, and you don't want to, so you want to be diverse. You don't want to bunch up all your country concerts next, so because you
keep the...
Yeah, you study trends and what buyers' habits are, and you study how people buy tickets and when they buy tickets. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's an...
Oh yes, I am very into this.
Yeah.
You do have a lot of spreadsheets. Okay, so because you have to keep your audience entertained, not just when they go to the show, but in between all the shows, you have to keep them coming back. Sure. It's part of the algorithm that we live.
Yeah, you want to stay in touch. I mean, we're a venue. It's got 500 seats in it, so we can do new, innovative things. We can try stuff to see if it works.
Yeah, well, and I think the thing that I'm talking about is just if you're scrolling on Instagram or Facebook, and me, a consumer, and I see it and I stop Facebook knows I stopped and looked at it.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't like it, they know I'm interacting somehow. Maybe I clicked on it and looked at the comments. Like, you have to keep people engaged that way. Maybe engaged is a different.
Yeah. Well, we're at our heart, we're an arts venue. You know, we're an arts place. We're, and there's always that, you know, what's your picture of the person that you want to walk through your doors, and you know, it should be representative of the community that you live in, and so that's what we're constantly looking at and trying to have conversations with more people. So getting to hear you interview more people is something that's in, you know, part of what I watch, what I listen to, what I use as data, what I use as education on myself on who's here in Sumter, as well as just being a participant in as many activities as I can that go on in Sumter.
I really like that. I think I read a quote on a Starbucks cup once. And it said, it was talking about being a good leader, and it said, to be a good leader, you have to know who you are, know who you're leading, and know where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think you kind of just said that. Like, you have to know who your audience is, and then you laid out who you were and that your heart is in the arts and just being reflective of your community, and to know where you're going with it, to just deliver that to everybody.
And you can have best laid intentions with you know, the performance that you think will draw the biggest crowd or be perfect for the audience you want to attend, but unless you make your space inviting for them.
Ooh.
Like, if we have a bilingual show, or maybe an Asian American show, or a performance that deals in Hispanic or different cultures, if I don't have signage that is helpful in a bilingual language, then how inviting are we as a venue to say, hey, we want you to come see the show?
We're only delivering the...
But that's as far as we thought. So,
yeah.
And I can say it took too long for me to learn that, you know?
I was like, I feel like you're talking about this from kind of a painful place.
Oh,
like,
well, I would say, yeah. Yeah, you learn from those experiences. Pain is what makes change, and change is where you grow. So.
Yeah, not saying any kind of negative, but in your attempts to do this, like, I definitely have tried stuff before, and I'm like, why? What is that? Why is this not taking off? Like, I thought, and then all the pieces were there, and just having that one difference of the flyer needs to be bilingual. Yeah. I wouldn't have thought of it.
Sure.
I don't plan events.
No.
So.
Well, and you just, the more conversations you have, I think that's where you find out that kind of stuff.
Well, I've always thought you've been super open to conversations. Anytime I've seen you, it's like, stop and have a chat.
Well, I don't have any problem talking to people. It's a problem during the workday.
Well, it's a problem during COVID, I would think.
It's a problem when people call me on the box office phone line, because I love to talk to them too.
It's like you're chatting it up.
Of course.
It's like someone forced you to get somebody else to answer the phone. Like, you can't answer the phone anymore.
Sometimes, yes, sometimes.
That's so there are a couple of things I want to talk about. What is the thing? It's the stage, behind the stage. I'm so sorry that I can't remember the name of it right now.
The stage door.
Stage door. Yeah. I loved the one that I went to.
Oh, yeah. You got to go to, was it Gina?
Yes. Because I think I bought 2 of her albums and like a shirt.
Yeah. So Gina Chavez. Yeah. Well,
yes.
First of all, she's an amazing artist. But so Stage Door, for those of you who are listening and don't. So Stage Door was an idea of how do we introduce new artists to our community without really having to worry about selling 200-300 seats, and still make it fun, intimate, and engaging, and chance for people to talk. So you come in the stage door,
right?
And you're right up on the stage, and there's like an hour that is before the concert. That is conversation time. We have food, we have drinks. You can sit, you can talk. The artists are usually out and they're mingling, the band members, whoever it is. So it gives you a chance to kind of learn about who this artist is, and then the concert kind of just rolls into starting, and You're right there on the stage. You sit on the stage with them, and we can put we'll put anywhere from 30 to 50 people on the stage.
I had the best time, and I felt it was super intimate. And it's something like, so if I do plan some kind of party, I get people to help me, and I'm like, this is what I want it to feel like. I explain that to the people that are good at what they do, and then I send them out.
Yeah. I like that you said how you feel, how it felt.
I
That's
feel.
good.
And so, like, when I went in, it felt intimate. It felt like I could have a conversation, and I feel like these artists that you have for Stage Door, their heart is in what they do, and so they like to be connected to their audience. And she told her story, and she was totally into talking to the people that were there, and it was an experience.
Yeah, if you've ever seen NPR's Tiny Desk,
yes, it was a lot like Tiny
Desk. It was a lot like Tiny Desk, where it's kind of just informal but yet still intimate, and the artist is kind of raw. They're just there.
And we got to dance around
up
there, and she just got everybody so involved. Well, and it's something that you would never expect to have so available to you in such a small place.
Yeah.
Like the brewery, like this 5-star restaurant that we have downtown, and the Opera House, I feel like delivers on those really good shows. This main stage stuff that you do, Stage Door has been really great, and so where else are you going to get it?
Takes a village.
Takes a village.
A whole team there at the Opera House. So,
So, okay. So back to your spreadsheets. I can't let spreadsheets go. Okay, so do you have
I borrow many of them. I just kind of take what other people have done and I tweak it.
So can I ask you all kinds of questions about this?
Sure.
Okay, so it's got to be budget driven, the main one.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you spread that out amongst the shows, and what shows kind of think will bring in like the size of crowds.
Mm-hmm.
And then do you have more spreadsheets that kind of give you insight into when you should start advertising?
Yeah, so there is kind of I call it a pipeline. It's a pipeline of like, we sign the contract on this date. We need to know, do I have all the marketing material? And then I give it to our marketing person or Matthew. Sometimes make sure Matthew Morse.
His art's here.
I recognize him in a heartbeat. He's so talented. He's done
talented.
all of our poster designs. We do some of our own graphics. And so you just kind of like, what's those steps and when do they happen? How far out do they happen? And then are there interviews that need to take place? Making sure the item has information so they can write an article. So yeah, that's kind of the marketing pipeline spreadsheet, and that helps me keep track of 16 contracts and at what stage I'm in that contract. I'm sure you have some of an idea. If you have a
little bit.
Where are we at? Is this at an offer yet? Is this have I sent, are we negotiating? Are we not? Where are we at?
Well, because when you book things, people have writers.
Yeah.
So what's a writer for a lot of people that don't know?
Their list of demands.
It feels like hostage negotiations.
Well, like, hey, I need I want to sit on a bar stool or I want a flat chair with no arms. I want, 6 speakers. I need you to get a guitar for me. So it's very, only like the super, super mega stars are like the ones that are like, everything in the building has to be white. I want white M&Ms and a white couch. That never happens.
What, you don't have to say who did it. What's the most complicated thing that you've had to do, or like most like posh, like ugh?
I wish it was something really incredible, but it's not. It's really just sound, like a lot of the sound requirements, because many artists do not travel with any piece of sound equipment or musical instrument. Now, they may have a guitar that they'll play,
right?
But most do not.
So most of the time they just roll up in
their
some
RV,
sort of like van,
and
yes.
RV or a van or like a passenger van.
Yes.
One of my favorites is the Red Clay Strays. They came.
Please have them come back because
I
I
know.
missed it.
Yeah, they were so good. They're blowing up, but they came in a gutted out 12 passenger van, and it
Yes.
broke down in the parking lot. And like they got out of the van. You imagine these guys in like Wrangler blue jeans and boots and like plaid shirt, button up shirts.
True to their name.
True to their name. They're from Mobile, Alabama, or Mobile, as
Mobile,
some
Alabama.
say. And they get out of there, and the van is like just billowing smoke out of the front, and these guys bust out the sides, and I was like, this is so picturesque. Like this is like you have to check this like on your road to becoming famous. You have to check the box of
yes,
like I got out of a broken down van. I started
my
at the
location,
Sumter Opera
yes.
House.
Like we knew we blew the engine like 20 miles out. We just motored on.
So they proceed to like fix it, and that's just it's their true like. And we've had a number of other people who like big artists drive their own RV. They'll spend time driving the RV. They take a shift. So that's something that I've loved about the artists that we get to bring in is that they are they're true people. 99% of them are just the best people. And when they come to the Sumter Opera House and they meet our patrons and they meet the audience and they get fed well, amazingly well, they love the downtown. They love the look and the feel and the sound of the Opera House. So it makes it memorable. So then you can kind of say what next, 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, whatever it is, we'd like you to come back. Then it makes it so much better. They go, oh, I remember you.
So what are you building over here?
I'm not building anything. This town is making a name for itself as a place to come and perform.
The hospitality, I can attest to for myself. People have been super hospitable to me. And, I have clients from out of town come in all the time. And I'm like, go here, turn left, do the thing, park over here. And, they get out and they find people and they're just like, man, this is just a great place. And so I too am proud of our
You just have to make it past Walmart. Keep going past Walmart.
I don't want to harp on this, but there's a rumor that's, people that come in town, they're like, oh, don't go past Walmart. And I'm like, no, you literally have to go. Like, that's where.
Keep coming.
Yeah. Anyway, so.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But that's, the fun, as far as the quirky things or the most odd things, is just writers. Like, in a writer, Pam Tillis, who is a famous country singer.
Heck yeah.
She needed a specific, I think, Asian type of a guitar that was made in Japan or China somewhere. So it was tough to try to find that.
Yes.
Because there aren't, you're not going to go buy one. You need it for one night, so you're going to rent it. So to find it rentable is
Where'd you find it
tough.
rentable?
There's a company we use out of Rock Hill that brings in a lot of sound gear for us. But then, like over the years, because there's some other people who are smarter than me that handled sound and lights. Shout out to Tim Langford because he's amazing sound and light guy. And he said, well, let's buy what we need so that we can save money on, and so we have the things that we need to supplement sound and have it in-house because it was so far away to rent. So
Right. Man, that is so cool. So when I'm going to be honest, and you're going to laugh, or at least I hope you do. When we talk about lining up shows, it's like, hey, do you want to come to the Opera House? Cool, see you the 12th.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah.
But I hadn't really spent a lot of time thinking about it either.
Well,
so
that's like, hi, would you like to buy a house? Okay, great. I'll be there tomorrow. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
There are so many things that I have seen already through us talking. Like, I definitely have the verbiage of pipeline, contracts, making sure people. So it's just.
It is.
It's a lot.
Mm-hmm. And there's a whole aspect of getting to know other presenters, other people that run venues, because they can say, you know, hey, I have a great act on Friday night. Can you take them on Saturday night? And we're 3 or 4 hour drive difference between us. So that helps out a lot.
Yeah.
And then maybe the artist is willing to take, you know, a little bit less because they got 2 nights. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. There's another opera house near here that's pretty great. Newberry has
Yeah.
a good opera house. Do you work with them any?
We don't do any artist exchange or bookings because there's a radius clause, like we kind of overlap each other
like
a little
too
bit.
Close.
Yeah, just a little too close. But sometimes what we'll do is say, okay, well, I'll take them in January. You can have them come back in March or in July.
Yeah.
So there's just a little bit of date difference. That's it.
Yeah, this is like airport math now. This is like...
Well, and that's the problem is like there may be an artist that you would love to have and you can't find a date the first year, and the second year it's a radius clause issue, and the third year is COVID-19, so you can't book anything. And then so you're like, it's 4 years down the road and you haven't booked this artist that you know would be great. And so you just have to be patient.
Patient. Oh, if you don't like being not productive on 2 days in a row, I know patience is hard.
As my wife would say, yes. She would say, you have control issues.
Guilty as charged. Okay, so Red Clay Strays, and, you know, true to their name, getting out of a busted van. Yeah. And I know you have so many stories about artists, you know, coming in like that, or just whatever's their niche and it just fitting right, and building this community of people, and, you know, having a team. What brought you into this career field? Like, it seems like something that's just comes from inside.
I think, well, I just love art. I love what it does. I love creating opportunity for memorable experiences. Like, so you can have that moment where you're brought to tears, or you stand up and are clapping and cheering at the top of your, you know, singing the song at the top of your lungs because you had that moment that touched with a memory. And so that's the coolest part of the job. I say it's a job, but it's really, you know, before that I was, I think I've always been arts have always been a part of my life. Singing, playing saxophone.
Do you sing?
Not anymore.
Do you play the saxophone? I heard that's a hard one.
Tenor saxophone.
I don't know anything about playing the saxophone.
Back in when I first moved here to Sumter, I played with the jazz band for a little while.
Oh, I feel like there's this whole like sexy jazz video somewhere of you in some nighttime cafe. There's no YouTube video of this. No,
there might be that sound of like the sound of the goose dying. When I play, that's what.
Why are you lying to me? Why?
But
so are you ever? We should have a Seth night.
Nope. No? Like I said, you're not going to sell any tickets. Suddenly, everybody's
well, it could be like a locals come at your own risk COVID thing.
Come at your own risk.
You can stand on the top of the balcony at Rafters, and we'll just.
And I'll Milli Vanilli it in is what I'm going to do. Yes, Milli Vanilli play for me while I blow through this.
People would you could sell tickets. You could sound awful, which I doubt you do, but you could, and it would be packed. People are so ready to get out of their house.
Yeah, that they are. Gosh, they are.
How has COVID treated you guys?
So I've been going to work every day at the city.
Yeah.
Or going to at the Opera House, and which I'm blessed to be able to have that, you know, thankful, and just trying to. You make one scenario, and then the next day it changes. Everybody's very familiar with it, you know, how fluid this is, and just kind of what's the best that you can do. How do you stay engaged with your patrons that you've spent 5 years trying to, you know, staying in touch. And the good thing is that I think we have so many patrons now that have learned to trust what we are doing, and that we've gained their trust through performances and through the type of acts that we've brought in. And so I think when we do open up, if it's for summer movies or if it's, you know, our dollar movie thing, We miss the kids coming in. We miss the kids coming in. It gives us a chance for them to come, be a part of that. We're going to miss them this school year if they're not able to make any school field trips to the Sumter Opera House. We're going to miss that. I know Pete the cat will be very upset that he didn't get to come to the Opera House. So we're again, like we're a place where memories happen, and I've seen so many, because we've been doing this 6 years. We're in our sixth season. So kids that were fourth graders when we started are now going into their sophomore year.
Oh, crazy.
So they are now familiar with that. It's not just a place that's on Main Street.
You would be like, even if you were, that's so
That's
crazy.
what we want every student in our school district, to private, public, homeschooled, whoever, to know that beyond the Sumter Opera House, there's the gallery, there's the museum, there's Patriot Hall, there's all these accessible art venues here. Mm-hmm. We do presenting. We present a show, mm-hmm. And concerts, but all the other venues have their own, avenue and their niche, and they can fit so many more people in what they're interested in. So,
tell me more about the school thing. So you have field trips regularly.
So we have a program called the Youth Education Scholarship. It stands for YES.
Okay.
This was a story. Is one of these summer movies I was. Mm-hmm. We were one of the first summer movies I ever was hired on, and I was here. Is that there were some boys that were kind of being rowdy, and whoever their like teenage chaperone was brought them out, and then the older chaperone was yelling at them because they were being rowdy, and they just didn't know any better. Uh-huh. Like this was probably their first time. They just didn't know any better.
Yeah.
So they were told no, and they had to leave, or they left.
Okay.
And I just felt bad. Like, how can we say yes to them? How can we say yes to a concert experience, whether they can afford it or not? How can we say yes to them coming to the Opera House and learning about theater etiquette, or learning when it's appropriate to clap, or when it's appropriate to say something or not, or how to respond, and just give them some soft skills. So we started this program called YES, Youth Education Scholarship, and we raise money, and then that money then goes to paying for the school kids the ticket.
Nice. So
they don't have to pay for a ticket, and then that was so successful that we had money left over that we were then able to like reimburse the school district for the busing costs. Nice. So there's really no reason they shouldn't say yes to coming, and it worked. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. So many other venues are doing this around the country, offering a free ticket. I know like Charlotte and Blumenthal has a big performing, they bring it, bus in kids. We're a 500 seat venue, so we can't get that many students in, but we try. And so we were hitting about 5,000 students a year. So we were doing 10 shows, 10 opportunities to pack the house as much as we could with 500 kids. So that's what I'm going to miss the most about. That's probably going to be the biggest impact for us in COVID, is that. I'm so sorry. But we're looking at trying to do some digital streaming to the classrooms themselves from, the artist is maybe in Chicago or New York or San Francisco, wherever, Sumter, mm-hmm. Or maybe they're performing on the Sumter Opera House stage, just no one there, but we're just streaming it out to the classrooms, so they get that chance to see it. And now maybe our numbers will go from 5,000 to who knows?
Yeah, absolutely.
25,000.
Well, it's so important to have such a balanced education of having the art and traditional and all of it come together. It helps you learn.
Listen, I got statistics. I got another spreadsheet for that one. About the great things the arts do. The problem solving skills that many of today's strategies for COVID-19 came from the arts venues and the arts administrators putting out their own ideas of what should take place. So I can't tell you how many manuals and things I've read over the past 6 to 8 weeks.
The arts community has such good problem solving skills. Because
and just innately artists are creative, and as I think as an arts administrator, you have that ability to kind of be creative and see where the artist is coming from, and then also understand some of the business side. So you kind of mesh the two, and hopefully can come up with an idea and a solution, and then ask for forgiveness if it doesn't work and try something else.
Yeah, there's so many systems in art. So many, just like what you're talking about, there's a pipeline. You got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, but then you can be super creative with all the details as long as you have the main things down.
Yeah.
So, and that...
the stage door is a super creative way of just introducing new artists. So you don't have to sit in a 500-seat venue with 50 people. You can actually sit on the stage right next to them. And suddenly it changes the perspective. And it was just, a lot of it was... None of these I can claim as my idea. None of them. They are just looking out what's going on in the world and seeing what would fit in your community and tweaking a few pieces, and then having an amazing team, Tim and Ellen and Lauren, and having an amazing team, Matthew, the city, that supports you and says, go for it.
Yeah.
We got your back.
So how many people do you have at the Opera House?
That works specifically with the Sumter Opera House, we had a young lady named Lauren, and she was at the Sumter Opera House, and her husband's military, so they're in the midst of trying to move. But she was
Don't go.
No, I know. She was a member of the Sumter Opera House crew, and did a lot of our outreach and our facilitating and a lot of our social media. I mean, she grew our program tremendously, our followers and our likes and the content that we were putting out there. Then we have Ellen, and she is really where all the spreadsheets come from, because she makes it look pretty. She can put the sizzle in the spreadsheet.
She put the sizzle in the spreadsheet. I feel like this is a phrase that's been used before.
And then, of course, Tim. We have Tim with our lights and sound. Yeah.
Nice.
And
that's cool. And then do you guys have volunteers?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
I didn't forget to mention them.
No.
Because you brought it up, so I didn't forget. But
it was coming.
They're the lifeblood. They are really, 5-6 years ago, if you had asked me, would you have over, 50 volunteers?
Whoa.
And I'd say no, there's no way we'd have that many. And thanks to, just kind of people just saying, yeah, I want to be a part of this, individually, and then telling their friends, and then, they're the one. When you see them when you walk in the door, you may not always see me or Ellen or Tim or Lauren, but you see a volunteer. You see somebody there with a red scarf or a vest on, and it makes you feel welcome. They make you feel welcome.
There's just so much love and passion that gets packed into every piece of this.
And it naturally happens. We talk about it a lot. We talk about it, but it naturally happens from kind of a place of love and out of the care for them. Everybody wanting people to have a great experience, that feeling that you're going to get from coming to the Sumter Opera House. We have, I think our numbers last said 40% of our audience on any given performance night is a first-time ticket buyer, or is from outside of Sumter County.
Okay.
40%. It's from outside Sumter County. So
that's super cool. I'd expect that to go up with the brewery when COVID goes away.
Yeah. Well, and when the hotel moved in, during the daytime, we'd have people that walk in. What's this place? We want to find this out.
Place?
So, and we're happy to show them around. Again, I like talking, so let's take them on a tour, And there's a great chance for us to talk about the history and what the Sumter Opera House has meant to this community over the past 125 years.
Those tours, the bomb. Talk about painting the little things
yeah.
around, and then going in the back. What's the room with the mirrors? It's a super easy word.
The dressing room.
Yes.
Drink a Viper.
Yes. And then you have a city center over there with all the pictures and the stuff. So what's the deal with that?
that was out of kind of a need for there to be a, like this building, this year we're celebrating 125 years in 2020. So there really was I was like, where's all this? Like, where's the archives? Where's the place that like people go to have their story told or contribute to the story of the Sumter Opera House? And so that's where that came from and so in that room is kind of a little snippets, no matter where you stand. The idea was like, if I'm standing at a concert or before a concert and I'm in front of this panel, I can read a little clip about the Opera House and take that nugget from.
It's so true, because that's where you get the wine. That is, aka the wine room.
It's the wine room. It's the box office room. It's the merchandise room. Listen, we don't have a lot of space, so we cram it in there. Listen, the box office is my cell phone. Can be.
Yeah.
Now,
absolutely.
I mean, the technology makes it so much more accessible.
Blink, blink, and you're just good to go.
There you go.
So standing in there, just waiting in line for whatever, I learn something new every time I go in there. It's a great little spot.
Yeah. One of my favorite parts of that is we were like, how do we make the clock tower accessible to everybody? Because like, I would love to take anybody up there, but you can't. Like, it's just dangerous. Sorry how to say it. It's like,
it's just dangerous.
It's not easily accessible either. And so we thought, well, let's bring the interior down so we have a replica of what it looks like on the inside. So that was a cool part of it. So you can kind of see the clock, the what it looks like, the green machine works of the clock, and see how the four faces, and
super cool.
Yeah. And then, so recently, I don't know if you've seen on Thursday nights, the clock tower is blue. The clock faces are blue.
No.
For our color, the blue in honor of our heroes, the hospital, the first responders, nurses, doctors, all those. And so every Thursday night, the clock tower goes blue.
When did that start?
Tim had an idea.
Okay.
To make that, because it was a national movement, a hashtag of like too much. I'm too dehydrated. I don't know. I can't remember what the hashtag is.
But it was like the blue line thing.
Like our Thursdays Blue Heroes, and that was Tim's idea. Is like, what if we could make the clock tower blue, the face blue? And I thought, that's amazing.
Well, this will drop on a Thursday night, so
cool.
Get in your car, ride back
down.
Yep.
You'll see it from all over, and Tim made that happen.
That is so cool. Okay, so when did it start, though?
It started probably about 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
3 or 4 weeks ago.
Cool.
And that's just. It was one, like. How do you? These ideas, this stuff like this, like the stage door or the Yes Fund or the turning clock tower blue, like that's what makes a small intimate venue like this so cool and unique in a town like this.
Well, and you have a small team, so you can, if somebody has an idea, relatively easy to make it happen.
Yeah.
Not saying what you do is easy.
Oh,
just
no.
saying that, like,
I understand. Yeah.
You can push ideas through when you have to get less people to approve it.
Sure. Yeah. Sometimes the obvious things escape me though too. So having a great team and having smarter people on your team is what makes it look so awesome. So.
What has been, besides nobody being able to come to the Opera House and pretty much putting a complete and total halt on everything, not to bring you down, what else has been hard about this? Yeah, exactly. Please have a drink.
So, like, just personally, I'm a music lover. I love to hear music and to miss live music. Like, I think just missing the live music piece of it. Like, there's something healing about music. Now, I can listen to it. I can watch it live on Facebook, and I have watched plenty and stuff that I would never have the opportunity to be a part of because of COVID. So, like, I've been blessed, but then I've also just missing a big chunk of kind of what is, gives me life, what kind of gives me the motivation to take another step and keep moving and thinking and creative and Yeah.
It really is life-giving. My previous business partner and I, at the end of the day, if we had a really super busy day, he would pull up YouTube and just start playing like these jazz and blues players, and I was like, what is this about? We need to be working. And so, but it was so good. And then, we had a crazy busy year, and Beth Hart was playing at Blumenthal in Charlotte.
Oh.
We Ubered there. Do you want to hear the story?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so we had to find an Uber from Sumter to there to come back. So, it was a guy that I knew who had just gotten his real estate license, and he didn't have his Uber approval, so we just paid him cash.
Yeah.
But it was an Escalade, and I don't know. So, but it was an
You made
older
it.
one. Apparently, something wasn't sitting right on the chassis or something. So it was like
You wobbled all the way
we
there.
wobbled all the way. Then we couldn't find him to take us back. We were like, what is happening? And then we wobbled all the way back, and it was terrifying.
How was the concert?
The concert was so cool. That was my first blues concert.
Mm.
Beth Hart is insane.
She's mind-blowing, phenomenal.
She's so good. I've been listening to her during COVID because she's just got so much oomph. And anyway.
Yeah. What music are you listening to currently? Anything?
I'm listening to some blues stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then Brindle and Black has this Spotify QR codes.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been kind of digging on that. And so my favorite one right now, Beth did, and she's got just some old stuff. There's Pantelis is on there, Lake Street Drive is on there, and so it's almost like Marshall Tucker Band got together with Red Clay Strays.
Nice,
It's just kind of chill but still kind of funky.
Gives it some rock, some blues.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's the kind of
cool.
stuff. What are
Yeah.
you listening to?
Oh, man, it goes everywhere. I am such a spastic music listener.
I think you'd have to be to do what you do.
Well, and some no kidding. When I'm at work, when I'm at the Opera House, and somebody says, "Hey, listen to this band," I will go listen to it.
Uh-huh.
If you take the time to send something to me, I want to honor that by listening to it. I don't have to like it because I'm always putting it through this, list of scenarios and a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Will
That's
it
gotta
fit
be
all
work.
these other points? But then, lately, I've been listening to the Bahamas. It's a new. They're not new, but Bahamas is a group that is just kind of a. I don't even know how to say who they are.
What's it sound like?
It's got good rhythms to it.
Okay.
Electro rhythm, kind of somewhat synth stuff.
Is it Caribbean vibes?
No. I was just listening to him, so I'm going to read it so I don't blow it.
Is that a blood? Man, that's cool.
Maybe not.
That's okay. The Bahamas.
That's them.
Okay, this is a different look than what I had originally.
Don't think of the island or island
I was
music.
definitely island. Well, his name is Bahamas.
Yeah.
Who was on his creative team? I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
But I love singer-songwriter. I've been into some singer-songwriter stuff lately.
Uh-huh.
Ian Sherwood is an artist is a Canadian artist that's a singer-songwriter, and he does a lot of looping with his stuff.
Okay.
But incredibly talented. And then Royal Wood is another guy. He's iTunes #1 singer-songwriter.
Cool.
And he's been, so there's a lot of kind of just, I'll stumble upon things too, but that's I can go from, reggae, funk to country, and then back to slow singer-songwriter. But sometimes you just have to put on whatever your mood is.
Yeah.
And go with what, is going to make you happy. And that's what's fine. That's what's awesome. And about music is there is something for everybody.
So what if you can't decide, what app do you pull up?
Spotify.
You use Spotify, yeah, for sure. The what kind of speakers do you have at your house?
Oh,
It's like, what is? Are you a sound nerd? Or?
I wish I could say I was, but no. I mean, I have earphones. I have the earphones, nicer earphones. So that's more like I'll put that on and not bug out everybody else. Now, sometimes though, I love when Tim is like just turns on the music loud and just rumbles the Opera House, and that's what's fun too.
Please text me the next time he does that, so I can just like just walk by and be like, I'm gonna work here for a second, just like. So
you can't necessarily work. It's that loud. You're not gonna work.
Well,
you're just gonna. Yeah, you're gonna sit there and wobble.
Wobble.
Because the sound is just like. Because it's a tiny space. In fact, we so. When Hugo came through, they put up something to patchwork over the plaster. Like they put up some board over the plaster. So the plaster falls out of the bottom. Like the music is so loud, the plaster falls out of the bottom. See this?
That is so
That's
cool.
It's a fun story.
And then what's the things in the top, the wavy things?
Oh, chainmail.
Yeah.
Yeah, like knight in shining armor chainmail. Yeah, that's what that is up there. So. It's purely aesthetic. It's just for looks. It doesn't do anything sound-wise.
There you go. I made some assumptions that it was helpful sound-wise. I don't know.
Nope. Just there to...
Hugo was like real rough on this.
But, I mean, it's a beautiful design.
It's
gorgeous.
This is why you have to get designers involved.
You do.
Yes.
Because they can put stuff up there that they know will look good. And not damage the sound. Because everybody that walks in, the sound is an amazing quality. Like, we have performers that will come for the first time and they're on the stage and maybe they just got off the bus and they walk out on the stage and they'll like clap, they'll clap to hear the echo, or they'll start singing just to hear what the echo is and where things are coming from, and they just, they're blown away. They love the sound and the room response. And so then they get that, that chill or that little tingles, and then they're like, okay, I'm in a good place, and then we roll out Southern Hospitality, and then it's a memorable experience.
I am so excited for you, for the team, for Sumter.
Thank you, thanks. It word of mouth is the best. The absolute it's on our top 4 of how people find out about us.
You can have all the marketing in the universe.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that thing when people come back, way to go.
Cheers to your flamingos.
Cheers to the flamingos and your whole team.
I love it.
Today you picked for our beverage. You've got SOB beer. How do you say it?
Viperweizen.
Viperweizen.
It's a Hefeweizen.
A Hefeweizen. These beers are really good. This is drinking.
Troy knows what he's doing.
They're drinking so easy. So if you haven't been, go there. Thanks for picking them.
Well, I was like, Mountain Dew, and you're like, you can have anything. Where would you like it from? And I was like,
low key,
and it's so
I was like, where am I going to get a can?
I see you. And on all the episodes, I'm like, why are you always like talking about this drink of the day? Like, this is our drink of the day. I'm like, now I get it.
Yeah, I just want
supporting local business.
I want to support a local business, just because COVID. It started during COVID, and so we had curbside, and so I was like, well, even if you get a Coke, you got to get it from somewhere that I can say, hey, thanks, so and so.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So anyway, and thanks for asking about it. If you could go pro in any sport.
Are these the questions?
These are the questions. These are the fun questions at the end.
Oh, our time is drawing near.
Drawing nigh, my friend. Drawing nigh. I'm so glad that you had a good time, though.
Bummer. Well, you were like...
Well, what else do you want to talk about?
You're so complimentary. I just feel like I have to return the favor or something.
Hey, knock yourself out. Just teasing. No, but did you want to share anything else about the Opera House?
No, I don't think so. I think,
Well, I just want to give you that.
I appreciate it.
Cool.
We miss everybody. I would love to get back as soon as possible. And whether it's 50 people, 100 people, we're going to do something. We will have music on the stage. We will have tickets to be sold, and it will happen.
From your lips to God's ears.
That's right.
We want to come listen to music.
We miss them. We miss you. We miss people.
Hey,
okay.
Maybe you should put out a Spotify playlist.
Huh? We had talked. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Why don't
I
you
think we
curate
did
something
try
and we'll
that.
share it.
I think so. I think we tried something like that. I'll look.
Yeah. Okay, so if you could be famous for something, what would it be?
Saxophone.
You're
Probably
better than
playing,
what you
playing
say.
saxophone. No, I'm not. I'm really. That's why I wish I could be famous doing it. Sean Hackett's great. He's an amazing sax player.
I have to write it down because I don't know anything about saxophone. I just know there's that one like YouTube video of it's like his name is literally Sexy Sax Man, and he's just in random places playing the same. He does that one song.
Yes.
Yeah, I won't kill you with that anymore. So if you could be a professional player at a sport.
Baseball.
Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball's a good one. Who you want to play for?
I don't know if I should say.
I was like, this is a divisive topic.
It's a divisive town. But I will say New York Yankees.
I was going to say I was like, if he said it's a divisive town, it's going to be the Yankees.
That's just, I lived in New York City for like 8 years and would go to games on my day off.
Where'd you live?
Upper West Side. Like,
Here.
no, Harlem. Like, I should say upper
Upper, like way
West
up.
Side. Like, north of Harlem, West Side. So.
Like 3 trains and a bus to get to
Yes.
the middle.
But you could walk to Yankee Stadium.
Cool.
Yeah.
What were you doing in New York?
Doing this. I wasn't working as a presenter, but I worked at Carnegie Hall and I worked at Macy's for a while.
Excuse me? You worked at Carnegie Hall?
Yeah, sure did.
I think that's as fancy as it sounds.
Yeah, it is. It was a lot of fun.
Have you been to Jekyll Island? Apparently the Carnegies built it. I don't know.
I have. I went to Jekyll Island for a number of different music festivals and things like that, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Gosh, man, I wish I had asked this question sooner. And then if you could have a superpower, what would your superpower be?
Speed.
Speed?
Yeah.
Super lightning flash?
Mm-hmm. So I could
Fast.
get things done faster.
We're the same person.
But then it's like, would I slow down to enjoy the leftover time, or would I just like then speed up to get to the next place I need to go?
You know what I appreciate about you? So wanting to always be productive and like do and whatever, you really have to slow down and remember that you need people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard when you're like always focused on the goal and getting it done, and like you don't really take time to celebrate that thing that you just accomplished.
Right.
And you're just on to the next thing. It's a conscious effort to slow down and think about the people that you work with, and just remember that you are a team.
Yeah.
And it's like you've mentioned them. Anytime we've talked about something, you've mentioned your team, and I think that's...
Well, my wife is the one that says...
She's the one.
She's the one that says, look at what you've done.
Mm-hmm.
Slow down. And I think that was the blessing out of COVID, too, was being able to forcibly stop. So
see if you can vibe with this, and I'll end. But you have a legitimate reason not to be doing.
Yep.
I have to have a legitimate reason not to. It doesn't matter how productive I've been, what I've accomplished. If I don't have a legitimate global pandemic should not be the reason I chill out on Saturday.
Right. Nor should any sickness of any kind be the reason you chill out.
You just can't go. So
Yeah.
Anyway, you're just so cool.
Well,
yeah, thanks for coming and chatting.
you were so much fun. It was so easy to chat. And I know we have before in passings and stuff, but
well, I can't wait to see the next thing that you do.
Well, and you too, for this. Keep this going.
Yeah, we're going to try to keep it going. I had a meltdown last week. I told Micah I wasn't doing it anymore.
You have to, because you add this energy to this community, but also just to just this little desk,
Little tiny baby desk. Well, that's enough about me. It makes me super uncomfortable. So.
Perfect. I have succeeded. You made me blush. I made you uncomfortable.
There we
It
go.
is done.
Well, thank you again so much for coming out and chatting and sharing everything.
Well, thank you for
We'll have you
asking.
back.
Thank you for asking.
I'm going to hold you to I want your Spotify playlist.
Okay.
Okay, cool. And then, as always, we are powered by F45. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening. Have a great week. Love you.